no matter where you're from.
Hello people, this is Mr. Store Thumbs. Yes, the brother with the jacket with the thumb. Yes, I'm trying to get that title out right now, so that might be working. Tell me what you think about it. So anyway, what is on my mind today? Well, I started thinking about gaming. Gaming in general. Once you pass a certain point as a gamer, you look back at certain other games that you had high hopes. What I'm trying to say is, okay, when exactly the PS3 came out, and we're talking about next-gen graphics, next-gen controllers, we all got hyped up. Unfortunately, we get some kind of games that really didn't bring the hype. In fact, it just crashed down so fast. I was kind of like, I told you so. Yeah, I told this guy. I was told him that game sucked, and you didn't believe me, so I told you so. My top 5 games, I wouldn't put it in my system.
These are the top 5 games you shouldn't play ever.
Stop with the babbling. Let's get to the top 5 of my games. Alright, first off, we have from Sony, Lair. Yes, Lair was probably a did not see this coming kind of attitude. Now, let me explain that. I remember way back when the PS3 just launched, and I was, getting my hands on what games I want to get. And as I said, when the system launched, you wanted to wait for a while till the software would catch up. And I remember a lot of times walking into GameStop, and they will have a certain person who would come up to you and say, "Hey, you ever tried a game called Lair?" I said, "Heard about it. It's a good." And they will do everything in a possible being just to sell that game to you. And I remember watching X-Play. This is way back before it was, before that, what happened. I remember Adam Sessler. I think it was Adam Sessler. I'm hoping right. He actually did a review on it, and he didn't like it. He tore this game to a new level. I mean, even the gameplay itself, it had a good intention. Don't get me wrong, it had a good intention to be a good game, but something went wrong in the middle. Hell, in the start of the game, even the opening was like, you're a knight who's flying a dragon. It should be a badass moment. It should be like a manly moment. You want to just start hitting people with rocks and say, you know what, I'm riding a dragon. Do what you want to do about it. That kind of feeling. But the gameplay itself, it's just horrible. It's babbling. The controls are feel like, right back. I was playing this in a quick kind of montage. I actually did a review called Heavenly Sword, and the controls of that are really, really well done. I mean, once you shoot an arrow or shoot a disc, you can feel like you can control it, and that's really good. But when you come, it was a different story. It was just completely, the AI was horrible, the controls were horrible, and it had a good intention. It had a good intention to be a good game, but it just fell flat. And then seeing sometimes walking into certain game stores, see it for like $10 or maybe less, you're wondering, wow, should I just pick up the game? No, don't pick up the game. It sucks. It's horrible. I'm doing you a favor. So let's pass that from number 5 to number 4. Alpha Protocol. Secret agent. You got an agent who wants to do good, and I say, okay, you have this, Shepard character from Mass Effect want to do good. Same premise. Everything is the same, but the execution of this game was probably the downfall right off the back. I remember. Well, before I mention that, just to conclude that story about the Mass Effect game. Good news about that. At that time that I heard about they were going to come on the PS3, and I was like, okay, I'll get my hands on PS3. I actually got the used one, so I never bought the brand new one, but I got a used PS3 Mass Effect, and I play home non-stop back and forth, and I forgot about Alpha Protocol. So I said, okay, let me just check what the reviews are. On top of review, on top of review, on top of review, probably I must have watched 20 reviews on this game alone. Good premise. Once again, good premise, good execution. Everything else is just off. I know you might see it for like at least $10 or maybe $6, but I never explain why you want to get games, so let me explain it right off. The gameplay is horrible. I never see anything like this in my life. The AI is choppy as hell. It doesn't respond well. They run up towards you, knowing that they have a weapon on their own, and try to headbutt you. The upgrade system, it just a babbling mess. It just don't feel like. I mean, if I'm going to play like a shooter, I want to play as a shooter. If I want to play as stealth, I want to play stealth. Hell, I think more games do well. Hell, even Dead X Human Revolution, that it done really well with that whole. I mean, it took the whole premise of that, how that game is, and made it 100 times better. And you're telling me you can't do it in Alpha Protocol? Oh my God, I seen game footage. I mean, wow, when he's crouching, when he's shooting, everything about this game feels broken. It feels like halfway they got the story right, and halfway they just like, well, we're not going to use it. Well, we're not going to use the elements of, leveling up. No, they figured it out. Yes, I wish I would figure it out, because this game is horribly babbling. Wrong. It's wrong, and in fact, don't get it. Trust me, that don't get it. Alright, so that was number 4. Let's go back. Now we're going to number 3. Never Dead. Yes, never dead. Oh God, never dead. Oh, here we go. Breathe in, breathe out. Alright, so how do I think about this game in a way that a gamer like myself was playing it? Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. It's just horribly. I mean, you know how far I would go so far? I remember seeing a press conference from Konami back in E3 of 2010 or 11. I'm not sure. I remember the whole conference, how they was like the conference was just horrible. None of these games were never see a light of day. If it did, you were just laughing at them. One in the conference had Never Dead, and I remember it was a Japanese the game developer. His English was broken as hell. And you have the magician who can somehow take his head off. I mean, high hopes for a game that crashed so low. First off, the characters, I don't give like 2 rat's ass about them. I mean, all these characters are just like, I really want to care about a character when I'm playing the game. Like, okay, I'm going to that extra amount. Like, when I'm playing like Bayonetta, or I'm playing Dante, Devil May Cry, or any of these characters, I would give it like 2 licks about. Like, I would give a damn about the game characters, because I want them to see how they develop in the game. And Never Dead, they never did it. This guy is the most backwards. This is the kind of guy you just want to like walk away from. Like, please, just don't follow me. Just don't. I mean, as I said, the controls are just babbling. The AI is just awful, and every so often, and I meant this in a good way, and meant this in a good kind of twisted way. I wish they had focused on everything. I mean, the game was just horrible. I mean, even when you are like blown up to bits, like body parts here, arm here, leg here, you're thinking, okay, it's gonna be cool. Here's Mortal, but it's just frustrating because you have to put yourself back together. So let's begin with the infamous Genji Blade of Days, if I'm correct. Yes. Now, just to recap, let me show you something. See, this is the PS2 version. This is the PS1. PS2 one of Genji. And I have to say, I play this game off and on because I love how the gameplay works. It was different. I'm not saying it was like one of them triple title games that you have to run out. I didn't know about anything about this game. I just remember playing after I finished with Onimusha, that the big kick-ass game. I saw this game. Okay, swords, you can't go wrong. Big guy with a stab, you can't go wrong. And I love this game. This game, I actually don't right now have a PS2. I'm trying to get my hands on a PS2 right now. But if I do, I will go home right now and play the hell out of this game. Now, what I have to do with the PS3 version of a game that I just showed? Well, I remember, once again, from E3, I think to E3 10, I hope I'm right again, they were showing off the gameplay, and wow, the gameplay is nothing like the gameplay I just showed you on the PS2, because it changed. The cameras is up way towards you, not like the PS1. The PS2, I keep saying PS1. The PS2 version, it had a good camera angle, but I didn't feel like I had to adjust it anyway. In the Part 3 version, it's just completely just on top of you. You just don't feel like you feel like you're in a closed space. Like, wow, really? I need room. And even when you figure out everything, it's still throwing up some dumb stuff like the giant crab. Now, if you remember seeing the giant crab, the guy was playing on stage at E3, I was laughing my ass off. I mean, really, seriously, this is Japanese history. So basically, I'm finding a Japanese crab. Okay, I can buy that, but the controls of that is just sluggish. It's just sluggish, and it felt like I was just walking in mud trying to fight 5 guys all at once, and it didn't feel right. I mean, I would say that two. I would say two. Look at me. I'm so mad about this game. Well, not this game, but the other game. I can't focus on this game. But I would say I will play this game on and off all day and all night because it was working well with controls. The storyline, all right, then wasn't a high point, but it was a good, decent story, good fantasy story. And the characters, okay, I didn't mind, and I said I didn't mind about that. But seeing what they did with part 2 and with that game, wow, Sony should be like, even the developers who did part 1 should be just like putting their heads down, like, I ain't do that, I ain't do that game. No, that was someone else. That's horrible. That's just horrible. So yes. So before I count down for the number 1 game that I will never put in my system, let's go back to the games that I mentioned before. Here we go. First I mentioned Lair, then Never Dead, then Aqua Protocol, and number 2 will be Genji Dawns of Blade. Yes, yeah, I can't even focus on the numbers because these games are so bad. This is how bad it is. So for my number 1 game, yes, my number one game that on my pad right now that I got, and I'm showing you, I'm about to tell you, that even frustrating me to hell was, this is now, I want you to sit back and remember your first moment when you have your PS3. Yes, you have your PS3, you're happy, you're excited, you want some kick-ass game for the system. One of them games, I did not see it coming. It was so horrible that even the company should just suspend all gaming all once. And that game is Gundam Mobile Suit Crossfire. Yes, this game was completely baffled me. Until this day, I see it sometimes walking into a rinky-dink game store and I see it right there and I'm thinking, wow, you actually have that game showed up and saying that buy me, no way, I will not buy you. Why would I put it away? There's nothing to say about this game. This game, its framework is choppy, and this is for a next-gen console. This is the PS3. You spend 60, like, not 60. Add the 2, yeah, 600. Yeah, so you put down 600 for a system that's supposed to be beefed up graphics, beefed up controls, beefed up everything, and it comes out. Well, if you've seen the game footage, that's great. But you ever heard about Gundam Crossfire and you're the first time, you just like, you wondering, should I get the game? Listen to the reviews, listen to me, don't get it. The frame rate is just choppy, horrible. I never seen anything like that. And the controls are just muddy as hell. I mean, even when you're thinking I'm controlling a mobile suit game, I should be a badass. You're not. You know what? I'll even show you something. I will show you something that even shocked me. I have my hand 4 games of Gundam. First off, I'll do it in random order. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even the first one with the RPG, I haven't touched that game in a long time. I'd rather jump back on that one than even touch the Gundam Crossfire. My God, this is horrible game. Trust me. Now, I made it through because I almost passed out. But yes, that's done. That's it. I have my 5 worst games that I will never put in my system. If it was a holiday and someone said, hey, you know what? I know this guy, he's a gamer and he's gonna love this game. No, the games I mentioned, don't give it to me. Don't even attempt to give it to me. Don't even seem like, oh well, he's gonna like it. No, I would try to sell it or just don't play it or just, I don't know. I don't throw like worst games in the garbage. That's been wasting money. So I just play, trying to get up for a buck or something, anything. I would not touch these 5 games. But that's my end of the video. But what do you think? What is your worst, probably most hyped game ever? The game that got you so hyped up you want to get it that one moment, but you didn't try to listen to reviews or anything. You got it. You went home and you played it. So, and you didn't like it. So that's my little end of the video kind of question. What game that really got you so hyped up you actually got it, but got home and it sucked? It's a long kind of thing I just did. So that's the response to me, to you out there in YouTube land. So YouTube/gamers, tell me what your worst moment as a gamer when you saw these games, or saw games that you thought it would be good but sucked. I showed it up this time around. So yeah, just throw a comment below. Tell me what you think. And if you like it, subscribe to me. I'm not that bad. I just got frustrated because these games just really get me angry sometimes. So calm down. Breathe. So once again, this is Mr. Sword Thumb telling you that. Oh man, I hope the next gen graphics do not look like these ones I mentioned. Later.